Okay, welcome back. Hello, welcome to Verbling. I'm Teacher Oakley, and at this time, for this next hour, we are going to conclude our little 3-hour marathon looking at the IELTS speaking exam. All right, part 3 questions coming up. Okay, in general. Now, part 1 questions. Part 1 questions are basically, well, okay. Part 1 lasts, let's see, 4 to 5 minutes. Okay. Part 2 is obviously going to be a minute plus 2 minutes plus a follow-up question about 3.5 minutes. Part 3 questions last 5 to 6 minutes, generally around 5 minutes. As opposed to part 1, where the interviewer is going to let you speak, and I don't know, 5, 6 sentences. The pretty much the interviewer will kind of let you go. In part 3, he's looking for longer answers. These are basically opinion type questions. So he's going to be asking you questions that that basically allow you to give your opinion, give a reason, some detail, another reason, and detail. He's going to let you do that. He's going to give you the opportunity to, the idea is you say your opinion and then you have to support it. That's really the whole idea. So, in other words, he's going to give you a little, you should be speaking a little longer. Instead of 5, 6 sentences, you're probably looking at 8 to 10 sentences for each response. Part 3 questions. Now, here I have to say, normally, the part 3 topic, you're going to be speaking on one topic. The part 3 topic should follow the part 2 topic. So, for example, you're talking about an amazing place you went to, you might talk about tourism and opinions about tourism in part 3. If you talk about, you describe a meeting, then you'll be talking about communications or meetings and giving opinions about them in part 3. That's basically how it works. Usually, I have had students report to me that, in fact, they went with a totally different topic in part 3. So don't be shocked. This is very unusual, however, and I'm very surprised that happens. That used to never happen, but recently I've had students report to me that that's what happens. So I don't know. Okay. Let me see here. Again, I want to talk about. I want to try to get, instead of different. Well, we'll try different topics, but I want to try to look at to look at question types. Hang on just a second. I'm having a little problem finding my information here. Okay, well, all right, just a second. Okay, part 3, here we go. Okay, all right. All right, part 3. Now, here's another thing about part 3, and they would never admit this in IELTS, but basically, by the time part 3 rolls around, they're just going to be modifying your score. They've already decided you're a level 6 speaker. They're trying to bump you up to 6.5. Basically, that's it. Maybe if you really mess it up, they'll bump you down to 5.5. But by the time you get to part 3, they've basically already made their decision. You're just trying to chip away do a few extra things that maybe you haven't done. And I'll tell you, in part 3, the interviewer, he has certain limits and he has rules he has to follow. In part 1, he has written questions. He's only allowed to read the questions as they were given to him by Cambridge, as they were delivered to him. He must read them verbatim, word for word, as they appear on his page. He has no flexibility. All he can really do is explain vocabulary words to you. If there's a vocabulary word you don't know, he can't even rephrase the question or go with a different question. He can drop the question and say, okay, they don't know how to answer that at all, and go to the next question, but he's very limited. Part 2, same thing. The questions are already written down. He's going to hand you a piece of paper, so he has no flexibility. Part 3, he has ultimate flexibility. He knows what you have not shown that you know how to do. He knows that you haven't done any future tenses. He knows that you have been very weak on comparison. He will ask you questions, hopefully, to get you to do those things which you as yet have not done. So, part 3 is very important because you have to. That's what you're doing. You're trying to show that you can do those things that you didn't do before. All right, let's get to practice. There are really, although they have an infinite numbers of ways to phrase the question. Basically, there are a few question types, and we'll be looking at those. So, okay, quick microphone check. Wellington, are you good? Yeah. I heard you before. Okay, great. Yeah. Okay. All right. A
little slept, but
a little tired.
yes.
Okay. And Claudia, Cal, are you there? Check, check. Mic check, mic check. Claudia? Nothing. She's silent. Again, Claudia, same thing. I can't hear you again. So please do what you need to do. Well, that was weird. It was very strange. Did you see that, Wellington? Was that just me? Claudia changed to Julio, like automatically. Wow, that was weird. Hi, Julio.
Hey, Rich. What's going on?
Not much. We're going to do some practice questions for the part 3 IELTS. So
quick question. Part 3 IELTS, is it the same as part 3 TOEFL?
No. Not even remotely. No. TOEFL, oh God. Because TOEFL has these integrated questions where you do reading and then you listen to a lecture, a conversation, and then you respond. You give an opinion in TOEFL question 5.
3 and 4.
No. 5. 5 is
1 and 2 are opinion questions. 3 and 4 listening and stating someone else's opinion.
Reporting. Yeah, that's it. Reporting information. In TOEFL, question 5, a person gives 2 possible solutions. You have to say which one you like and support it. So it is opinion. Question 5. And 6 is no, again, reporting or showing a relationship comparison. Quite different. Really, TOEFL questions 1 and 2 are the only thing that is really like IELTS.
So in IELTS, it's all about your opinion.
Yeah, well, and supporting it, obviously. Supporting it adequately, yeah. Okay, let me mic check Claudia over here. Cal?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, there we go. All right. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, let's talk and practice, let's talk about and practice question types. First type of common question type in part 3 is comparison. This comparison may be a time comparison, past to the present, could be demographics or social comparison, men, women, old people, young people. Could even be geographical, north part of your country, south part of your country. Okay, all of these are typical comparisons in IELTS. Okay, so Wellington, let's give one a try. All right. Okay, do men and women like the same types of books?
Yes, not too much. I think, yeah, I think a woman is more romantic. So, and my friends, for example, they read a lot of romantic books and books with sometimes there is a good final, a happy final, and men, the men, we like more action, we like more books with heroes. But one thing that I like to talk to you is that women read more than men. Yeah, I think women read three, four times more than men, and because they stay all the time, I think all the time in home, and we men go to the street, we play soccer, we have the more opportunities to go out, and so I think we spend more time outside then, and because this maybe we have different kinds of needs, and we see the world of a different life.
Okay, we're good. Okay, critique time. All right, definitely in part 3 questions, you should be forming a topic sentence. Just like when you're writing, in the writing section, there's an opinion question. Part 2, writing. Definitely your first paragraph is all an introduction. And then when you're writing, each point, you make a point, and that's a paragraph. My first reason is blah, 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 blah. And then a new paragraph, my second reason is blah, 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 blah. And then a conclusion. Basically, the same kind of paragraphing structure you're going to be using in part 3 questions. So you need to start off paraphrasing the question maybe. Do men and women like the same types of books? Although your first thing, well, I don't know, not so much. That's fine. That's kind of an off-the-cuff expletive, and that's actually good in IELTS. You should have followed that with a topic sentence. I don't believe that males and females really read the same kinds of material. Okay, so saying the question back, but in a different way, and just stating your opinion. Don't use because and reasons. Don't go right into your reasons. Just an independent sentence that states your opinion. And be prepared to state your opinion using a signal phrase, but in different ways. I think, I believe, in my view, from my perspective, well, my opinion is, I strongly believe. Okay, you're going to have 4, 5, 6 questions in part 3. So every time you should use a different way to say what your opinion is, really. Okay, really should have that topic sentence. You're doing more, you're organizing and you're paraphrasing, which they need in IELTS. They need to hear you do. Wellington, you've got to be careful about adding an extra vowel sound, like bookies. No, books. Be careful. Yeah, be careful about, sometimes after a word you add a vowel sound. Be careful about that. Okay. All right. Something final. Okay, and now it's a comparison question. You should recognize that. Two things, and you're comparing. Okay, now I did hear you use than, something than this. I did hear you use but as a connective. That's good. That's good, but it could be better. You could be using introductory statements like however or on the other hand. Conversely, yeah, you could do it better. All right, okay. You're using the most simple form of connectives to show comparison, which is good. I'm not saying that's not bad. The men's, be careful of that, Wellington. The men is already plural. You don't need an S.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I like this part, but you need to do it better. One thing I like to talk you about, it should be one thing I would like to tell you about, or one thing I would like to explain. Okay?
Okay.
That would be better. Now, of course, okay, Wellington went a little bit off on the fact that he thinks women have more free time and men, or women spend more, I'm sorry, women spend more time at home and men go out, whatever. While that is not wrong, you have to bring that back to the topic somehow. You can go off on a little tangent here. Another point that I think is important, okay, you can introduce that. One thing I'd like to mention, that's a good way to do it, is, and then make your point about the time spent. That's fine, but bring it back to the topic. And I think that's why women spend a lot more time reading, and so they have a more time to read. So I think they read a wider variety of books than men, something like that. So you bring it back to the topic. It's good to, it's good to mention a side point. Actually, that's a good thing if you know how to do it properly. But bring it back if you can. Okay.
Okay. Stay in the assumption, the subject.
Yeah, that's it. You want to stay on topic. And it's always okay to go a little bit off topic, but remember to bring it. But don't forget to bring it back, to relate it to the topic, to the question. Yeah. Again, the key is, if you're asked a comparison question, what they're really asking you, they could care less about your content. What they care about is how the language you use to join the differences, the comparative structures, comparative language. Okay. Okay, on the contrary, the opposite, okay. Again, all right, well, that's it. We might try another one, but as much as I can, I want to try the different question types. So, Cal, are you ready?
I think so.
I hope so. Okay, I'm going to give you another type of question frequently asked in Part 3 are prediction questions. What do they want to hear? Well, Cal, what do I want to hear if I'm asking you a prediction question?
Sorry, I don't understand you.
What am I really asking if I want you to predict something in IELTS? Well, okay, I'll answer my own question. I am really asking you to use future tense, okay? I'm asking you to use future tense. I am asking you to use modals to show probability. This might happen. This may happen. I strongly think if this will happen. All right. And adverbs. Probably. I think it's likely. This is what they want to hear. They don't really care what you say. Many people freeze when they get a prediction question. I don't know what the right answer is. Well, in fact, your mindset should be exactly the opposite. You can say if they're asking you to predict the future, there is no wrong answer in the universe. You can say as many crazy things as you want. You can say aliens will take over the earth and mind control everyone, and it doesn't matter. Again, as always, as I've been repeating now for 3 hours, it's not about having the best answer. It's just about talking. So,
yeah, I know, but
so feel free to say anything. Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I think and I write okay, but when I tell about I'm nervous, but I don't know why.
Okay. Just remember that you can say absolutely anything. All right, let's give it a try. All right, Cal, here's your prediction question. What will houses be like in the future?
I can hear you very much.
Okay. What will houses be like in the future?
Houses?
Yeah, houses. You live in a house. Okay. Or maybe you live in an apartment. It doesn't matter. Okay. So there you go. There's your question. What will houses be like in the future? That's it.
Okay. I think the houses is more I don't know. Just
Well, okay. Again, remember my point. You can say everything. You can say anything. I think all houses will be purple. I think houses will be 200 meters, will be 200 kilometers tall. It doesn't matter what you say, Claudia. It really doesn't matter. Houses will float in the clouds. Houses will be underwater. Houses will be made out of paper. There's no wrong answer. Houses will all be made out of human skin. There's no wrong answer. There is nothing you can say that is wrong, except for nothing. That is wrong. The only wrong answer is no answer.
No. Okay. I think the houses like be like don't have many colors. I think all houses are white, and I expect the houses are flowers, but the words coming don't have many flowers and trees and rivers, and so I expect have in my house one garden, a beautiful garden, and another two.
Okay. Time out. Back up. Okay, maybe this will help you in brainstorming. Okay, if you get a future question, or this might even work for a future comparison question. What always changes? What is something that always changes? Anybody? Wellington? Julio? What is something that's constantly changing about
The
everything?
weather.
The weather? Okay, sure. All right, actually, sure. The weather. The weather always changes.
The mood.
Uh,
The mood.
the mood? Yeah, okay. Well, I mean more about like things. No, I'm thinking about the future. All right, let me just say it. Technology. Technology changes everything. So if you have a
Yes.
future question, think about, okay, how may the technology change?
The
That's an
size.
easy way to
This.
brainstorm.
Yeah. The
Size,
size.
maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
What else always changes? Money. Everything becomes more expensive.
You say this. Money. Yes,
Money.
more expensive.
That's an easy one. Pretty much any question you have about the future, you can say, well, I think it'll be a lot more expensive.
They will be more. They will be more modern. Modern.
Yeah, well, kind of, Wellington, but consider the fact that modern, in the 1950s, the modern kitchen was
Yeah.
something that's a kind of a joke now. But it's modern only as far as it's modern now.
Yes.
But it
With
changes.
a lot of gadgets.
Well, there you go. Now you're talking technology, Wellington.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's an easy thing to brainstorm about. How does the technology change? The money may change, and frankly, Julio's not at all wrong. The weather may change. Okay, I think because of global warming, there will be
Rain.
continuous hurricanes, rain, continuous storms and tornadoes. So houses will need to be built like bunkers with 3 feet of cement and steel bars in the walls to protect people from 400 kilometer an hour winds, which will be sweeping the earth.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay, maybe people will be building greenhouses, use green technology. Right, there you go. So weather actually, especially nowadays, everybody's talking about global warming. Yes, that is something that changes. Very good. That you can use that. Think about things that change and then relate it to whatever the topic is. I want to try one more here. Julio, I want to ask you a prediction question. I'll give you a different
Okay.
question, but I want to see how you deal with it. Um, okay. What will public transportation be like in the future?
All right. I believe that in the future, public transportation will be non-existent. Why? Well, first of all, nowadays we have a very efficient communication system through the internet. So I think in the future this is going to advance even more. So I think that there won't be necessary to have buses or airplanes or trains because people wouldn't want to travel anymore. They would prefer to just call their friends using the latest technology. That will be holographic technology. So you will be able to see that person right in front of you. Secondly, traveling it is dangerous. Nowadays, we've seen many catastrophes, like the one that happened with a few flights, and especially the one that was terrible that happened a few weeks ago when a pilot took a plane down. That was awful. So maybe in the future, people will rely more on computers and technology if they really have to fly. I really see um, airplanes that fly without a pilot. They will be controlled by a all-knowing computer that will know the weather and what's going on everywhere in the world. So it will choose the perfect route for you to get to where you want to go. So definitely, I see a lot less Transportation means being developed in the future, and much more technology based communication means instead of actually transportation means.
Okay, well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Very good. Okay, very, very clear and obvious topic sentence. Okay, I believe, and he gave his opinion. Do you really believe this, Julio? Or are you
Um,
just saying it?
yeah, the thing is with this kind of prediction questions is that how far in the future are you gonna go?
Yeah.
Like you can go as
Okay.
far as you
Good point.
want. I think that in the midterm,
True.
something like that's gonna happen.
True. Good point, and that is a very good point. When they ask in the future, they don't use. They almost never ask. They do occasionally. I'll wait before I make a mistake. Occasionally, they do say 50 years in the future, but usually they leave it open, so they can leave it open to the test taker to decide. Okay, are you talking about 5 years? Or are you talking about 5,000? Okay, very good. All right. Anyway, very clear topic sentence to introduce it. I like the bridging rhetorical question. Why? Okay, he proposed a kind of a radical opinion, and then he used a rhetorical. Why? One, blah 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 blah. Secondly, blah 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 blah. Okay, he very clearly made at least 2 points. Magic number. You got to have at least 2 things to say. At least two supporting points in question 3. At least 2 things to talk about in part 1. Always, he did that. He used. I like the colloquial phrase, all-knowing computer. Great. He accomplished using some kind of idiomatic or colloquial language. Terrific. He gave me an example. For example, the flights, it was that whatever flew into the mountain a few weeks ago, and it was horrible. It was terrifying, terrible. Whatever words he used, I didn't write it down, but abstract adjective use. He did everything that he needed to do. He used future tenses quite clearly. I think he used will and going to versions of the future tense even better. He used would. He used adverbs to explain probability. Nice. That is. The delivery was good and organized. It doesn't get a whole lot better than that. If you did that for the whole exam, you would get a 9. Really not. I really couldn't find any faults.
I went to town. That's how they say it.
You did go to town. Yeah, you did. Went right to town on it, mister. You beat it with a bat. Okay. All right, that was awesome. Okay, let's try some more practice here. Wellington, I'm going to take it back to you. Okay, pretty much the next type of question is straight up, really, really sincerely straight up opinion, the why question. Now, the why question can be very general, but remember, it's not about speaking generally in IELTS. It's about giving details, examples. All right, so don't fall into that trap. Sometimes the why question can be, to be honest, stupid. Sometimes these questions, they will ask a very stupid question. Why is it important to eat healthy food? Okay, why do some people like to be rich? Duh. Don't be shocked if your question is like stupid. I don't know how to say it any other way. Okay. So Wellington, you ready for your why question?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
okay.
ready. I'm ready.
You're ready. All right.
Ready.
All right. Ready for your dumb question. Why is it important to protect the environment?
Why it's important? Because we live here, we live in the earth, and we also have children, parents, and this place is the unique that we know. The environment is necessary for our health, for because he give to us food, he give to us, it give to us food, air, water, and unfortunately, the man we are destroy the environment. I think now it's time for us um, improve to worry about we are doing with the nature, the environment. If we follow in this pace, more and more the environment, the nature, our health, be you be sick, you be worse than now. The environment is uh, our life. Yes.
Okay. All right. Very nice, clear ending there. Uh, okay. If it's very clear that you have concluded, this is a good thing. That was obvious. Again, Wellington, you need to be giving a clear topic sentence, and really you need to first of all give your reason, and then another reason is, or another reason, moreover, additionally, as well, whatever, some kind of signal phrase to indicate here comes another reason. Okay?
Okay.
You really need to do that. The organization is essential for getting a good score in IELTS. The pronunciation parents, I don't know, it was a little weird.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, talking about nature, he, and then you changed to it, a little self-correction. It give to us. It should be it gives us, or give, it's okay, gives to us. It gives to us something, something, something. First of all, one thing is, in English, nature is, Mother Nature, Wellington. So nature, if anything, if you're going to use a pronoun that shows gender, if anything, it should be female, strongly.
Mm.
Mother Nature. So it would be perfectly okay to say she gives us blah, 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 blah. That would be okay. It gives us is okay as well. He is very exactly wrong.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
In Portuguese too.
Really? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all languages, nature's female. I think
Yeah.
that's a universal. Okay. Yeah, okay, you said, I think it's time to worry. We are doing. Wellington, you need to think about how to do these relative pronoun or connective things. It's time to worry about what we are doing.
What we are doing. Okay.
Now, okay, we are doing. Now that's
I lost my thoughts in this part.
okay. Lost your train of thought. Okay. Although on the other hand, you did throw in a continuous verb, are doing. That's good. All right, and then you said something about following this path. Is that what the word?
Pace.
Pace. Okay. I couldn't understand the word following this pace.
Yeah, because in this part also I lost the words.
Okay. Well, follow this path is a very again, pretty standard colloquial type expression, which would have been good. Okay, here's the thing, and this. All right, for example, we say follow this path, and the other expression, continue at this pace. Okay, these are fairly normal English expressions, but you kind of mix them up. Again, as I mentioned before, so what does that mean? That means instead of not trying to use a colloquial or idiomatic expression, in which case you get a 5, you tried to use it, but you made a mistake. You mixed up 2 different common phrases. So you get a 6. You get rewarded for that. If you get it right, then you get a 7. That's how IELTS works. So they reward you for trying.
Okay.
So it's okay. At least you're trying, and that's important. Okay. That was okay. You did some things well, but you could have done some things better. You know.
No, yeah. Sorry, I don't. I think I am thinking to do the test next year, so I have time to train to work.
Okay. Great. Cool.
Maybe.
Very good. Maybe. Yeah. You know.
Maybe I will do the test. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know yet.
If you are, and for any viewers out there, whoever's watching this video on YouTube later, hey, if you are, please don't do this. Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to tell you guys a story. I recently have acquired a private student outside of Verbling. It has nothing to do with Verbling. However, this student has basically gotten his entire medical degree. He spent like 8 years in university in China. He's a Chinese student, and in China it is required to pass the IELTS test with a 6.5. And he came to me and he said, oh, I need to pass IELTS with a 6.5 to get my degree, which I have been working on for 8 years.
Wow.
And he comes to me and he says he needs to practice and get ready for the test in 1 month.
Wow.
And English, his English is basically beginner. I mean, really elementary beginner. Please do not make this mistake. Give yourself a lot of lead time before the exam. And frankly, if you're considering the IELTS exam, if you are not at least in an intermediate speaker, don't bother. Bring yourself up to an at least intermediate level. With an intermediate level of speaking, you can learn the strategies and the format and the strategy, how to take the test. You can still do fairly well. But if you're not at least an intermediate speaker, get yourself to that level first. Do not think you're going to study for an IELTS or a TOEFL exam in 1 month. Ha! That's ridiculous. 3 months minimum. Okay. Anyway, you got a year, Wellington? Great. That's better. Much better. Good for you. You're a smart man. Okay, Julio. Next type of question I want to look at are the advantages and disadvantages question. This type of opinion question. Okay. Be a little bit careful because they may present these questions in different ways. For example, they may say, what are the advantages? Let you answer, you finish, and then they follow it with, and what are the disadvantages for the same thing? So be careful. When they ask what are the advantages, don't start talking about the disadvantages. Same thing in part 1 in IELTS. When they ask what music do you like, don't start talking about what music you don't like, because the next question may be, what music do you not like? Answer the question you're presented, because you could get you could get screwed. You could be painting yourself into a corner, so to speak. Or sometimes frankly, they would never do this unless they see that you're a really high-level student. If you hear this question, then you know you're doing really well on the exam. If they say, what are the advantages and disadvantages of doing something, they're asking two things. They're asking advantages and disadvantages and comparison all at once. And they're not going to make a question that complicated unless they think you can handle it. So, you know, you're in good shape if they ask you that. You feel good about yourself. Okay, well, so let's try an advantages question. All right, Julio.
Why don't we try an advantage and disadvantage, and let's see how I do.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, it's a good practice.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm
Okay.
not getting.
No, I'm good with that.
Well,
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. All right. Let's do that. Fine. What are the advantages and disadvantages of traveling by train?
Well, above all, I think there are many advantages and many disadvantages of traveling by train. First of all, it is a really slow communication mean, and for people that really need to get there on time, well, they really have to book their tickets in advance. On the other hand, I'm pretty sure that I've never traveled by train in my life, but I'm pretty sure that the view must be outstanding, like out of the ordinary. And there is also a sense of, um, I don't know, commodity of being traveling without being worried about the time. And that's something I could enjoy, definitely. Um, Conversely, I'm not sure about if I might get like dizzy traveling in a train, because sometimes you have to travel backwards depending on how you sit. So that might be a problem. I've heard that some people get really sick in traveling by train because of this. Mm, so instead of taking a train, if you really are in a hurry, I think you should try an airplane or a bus. I don't know. So I believe that on one hand, it is comfortable. You might have a nice view. On the other hand, it might be a little slow and you might get dizzy. So um, it's up to you.
Okay. It's up to you. All right. Once again, clear topic sentence loaded with discourse markers, signal words and signal phrases. First of all, on the other hand, conversely, on one hand, instead. Okay. That's what you got to do. And all these exams, not just IELTS, actually, TOEFL, CAE, FCE, doesn't matter. All of these exams, one common denominator with all these exams, they absolutely, one of the fundamental scoring precepts, foundation is using these discourse markers effectively, organizing your speech. So, good job, and a variety of them. That's it. Good adjectives, outstanding, one of a kind, or whatever it was. Okay, really? Only two negatives or possible critiques. I'm not sure if I heard the word right. Maybe not. I don't know. I think you said there's something. I don't know. Commodity.
Oh yeah, I think I totally screwed with that word. I want to say like there is a sense of how you say the coziness, like
Coziness. Okay. You could say that. No, you could say that. Actually, that would work. I thought you were trying to say it's very accommodating, which
oh,
doesn't.
that was the word. That was the word. That's really
Okay.
accommodating.
Okay. All right. All right. So there you go. You know, small problem there. And this is a very complex question, frankly. The way you organize it is you have two choices. And we can talk about it because also this relates to IELTS writing as well. Actually, what we just did, it would be a common kind of not worded this way, worded differently, but really the same thing in writing. You have two choices here about how you're going to organize your speech. You can talk about advantages, another advantage is, and then go to disadvantages, and then wrap it up at the end with your conclusion, comparing them together, which you did, by the way. Or, and much more difficult, would be to talk about, I don't know, the comfort of riding in a train, and then on the other hand, a plane is very comfortable as well, and you can watch a movie or put on your earphones and listen to music. And then you talk about the schedule. Trains have schedules, and I think that more often you could probably take a bus. Okay, so you talk about each element and go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you were kind of doing that, but kind of not. So your organization was a little disjointed, just how you presented the material. But basically, that's the deal. You can do it really either of those ways. Just talk advantages and then go just disadvantages. You kind of try to go back and forth. That's the more difficult style. It's very challenging to pull it off. Here's another key difference between TOEFL and IELTS. In IELTS, you have a little bit of a risk versus reward going on. And in fact, Wellington, I said this to you many times, that you tried to do it, but you messed up. But they'll reward you for trying it. So it's worth taking the risk. And the more you risk in IELTS, the higher of the score you're going to get. But you're making a certain amount of risk. You know, you're going to lose points if you don't do it right. But on the other hand, there's a little bit of an insurance policy in that they will reward you to some degree for trying it. TOEFL, forget about it. They do not care about you taking chances. They want a very templated, standardized, straightforward response. Taking chances is pointless in the TOEFL exam. In the TOEFL writing, for example, they ask you to choose just like this, but well, similar to this, choose between two different options. Never in TOEFL should you try to go in the middle and do a comparison essay. It's not worth it. You're taking a huge chance to do something difficult which you will never be rewarded for. So it's pointless. In IELTS, it may be worth taking the risk because there is some reward there. That's a huge difference between these exams, actually. Okay. We only have oh, is there another question type? I have not got to. Advantages, disadvantages. Yes, there is. We only have seconds left. Shoot. Problems and solutions. Obviously, things like the environment, public transportation, things of that nature might come up here. Okay. Wellington, what are the problems with using a private car?
Private car, yeah. When we use a private car, we take much space than a bus, and because we have only 7, 8 cars, they take the same size in the streets, and because the streets we see a lot of traffic in big cities, in small cities, and of course we had the pollution too. The prices of the gas is also other problem, because when we stay in the traffic stuck, we spend more time to get in the places, in the office, in the school, and the prices of the food goes up because the drivers spend more time to get in the supermarkets. So we had a lot of problems.
Okay. Okay. And all right. Again, make sure you're making a topic sentence. An easy way to make a topic sentence is basically your conclusion. Okay, was a good example of a good beginning. There are a lot of problems associated with driving a private car. Okay, use the quantity, the number, not necessarily an actual number. I can think of 3 reasons why driving a car is not a good idea. I can think of many problems, a few problems. This is an easy way, using that to paraphrase. Wellington, I had no idea what you were talking about. 6, 7, 8 cars take the space. I don't know. You lost me in that section. I was lost there.
Is the hour? Is the time?
Yes. Okay. And of course, blah 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 is a problem too. And blah, blah, blah is another problem. Actually, this is good. I haven't mentioned this. I have mentioned using your discourse markers or signal phrases at the beginning of a sentence. Actually, this isn't doing this as well is actually good. He's actually giving his discourse marker at the end of the sentence. Blah, blah, blah is yet another serious problem. That's okay to do that. You're still doing it. You're still using your signal phrases. Interestingly, you're putting them at the end of the sentence. Okay. Kind of cool, actually. All right. Stucked is stuck. There's no stuck is stick, stuck, stuck. Stuck is a irregular verb. People are stuck in traffic.
Stuck, okay.
Yeah, it's not a. It's an irregular verb. Okay, gentlemen, thank you very much for your participation. Thanks a lot. You're a big help, and hope you learned a little bit about this crazy IELTS speaking test today. Thank you very much. Wellington, thanks. Take care.
Take it easy.
Julio.